I don't have anything against the concept of group assignments, like, most of the time my partners are great at doing their fair share of the work. But the odd times when they're not great are enough to turn me into a sleep-deprived workaholic vampire for basically the entire semester. I also find that although profs allow you to choose your own groups, who you end up working with usually just comes down to whoever happened to be sitting beside you during your first lecture. And I guess the online equivalent for that would just be whoever reaches out to you first after you posted your contact info on a forum. There was this one time that I technically got to choose my partner, but he turned out to be absolutely terrible to work with. And honestly, I would have rather just surrender my fate to luck instead. The strange thing about that course was that you only get one chance to pick someone to work with for the entire semester. And whatever lab grade you get translates directly to the grade your partner gets. Unless they don't show up for whatever reason, but just showing up is like the lowest requirement I can possibly think of. Oh, and he also ditched me that one time, so there's that. Anyways, every lab he would show up without doing any prep work, and would either be sitting there looking at me like, hey, you got this, right? Or be going around to other groups to see what other people came up with, but really they're not even working. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting there frantically trying to debug my code so that I have something to show my TA before the hour's up. I know. Debug. Can't you do that at home and just come prepared instead? To that I shall answer. The code's in frickin' Verilog, and to test it, you need to make a do file to manually change the values of a bunch of imaginary switches like you do on the breadboard. Oh, breadboard. Whoever thought of naming this thing a breadboard is an actual genius. Okay, so a breadboard is this board thing where you get to add a bunch of chips, wire it up to some power and input, and get an output out of it. It doesn't do anything fancy really, just lights up a tiny LED light or something. Verilog is basically the code version of that breadboard, like you literally say wire this to that, and to check if your code is correct, you literally have to manually add in a bunch of inputs and manually check if the output's at 0 or 1. You can see how tedious, annoying, and just overall not great this can be, right? So yeah, annoying course plus terrible partner who couldn't carry his own weight plus terrible partner getting free grades because of me equals me getting even more annoyed. Anyways, group assignments in a nutshell. 1. You win the lottery and end up with really great team players for once and don't have to worry about carrying the whole team because you can trust that they'll carry their own weight. Oh, how I wish this was the norm. 2. You lose the lottery and end up with a slacker who doesn't contribute a single thing and annoy the crap out of you because you know that he knows that both of you are stuck together until the end of the semester and you're gonna work hard regardless, so he might as well profit off of you by not doing anything. 3. Basically scenario 2, but you drop the course.